Hello everyone, Jonathan Schlack, EA&Weather here with a severe weather update. I'm filling in for SPC Convective Outlook. So, let's get the show on the road. So, we have a few slight risk areas that are in place from the Storm Prediction Center. For today. We have a slight risk area over the very far extreme southeastern part of Indiana, much of the eastern half of Kentucky, central and eastern Ohio, all of West Virginia, northern and western Virginia, Washington, D.C., most of Maryland, all of Delaware, almost the entirety of Pennsylvania, which includes my area, all of New Jersey, south central and southeastern New York State, which includes the western half of Long Island, and the very far extreme southwestern tip of Connecticut. So, we have a slight risk area that covers southeastern Oklahoma, most of Arkansas, pretty much almost the entire state of Arkansas, the very far extreme south central part of Missouri, northeastern Texas, northern Louisiana, southwestern Tennessee, central northern Mississippi, and far west central Alabama. We have another slight that covers southeastern Wyoming, or far southeastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, sorry, I don't know if it's updated on me, eastern Colorado, western Kansas, the western, much of the panhandle of Oklahoma, northwestern Texas, and far northeastern New Mexico, and I mentioned eastern Colorado, right? And we have a marginal that surrounds these risks. The marginal that covers southern New Hampshire, southern Vermont, all of Massachusetts, all of Rhode Island, pretty much all of Connecticut, the eastern half of Long Island, central and southwestern New York State, far northwestern Pennsylvania, parts of southern Virginia, far southeastern Maryland, far northwestern Pennsylvania, extreme southeastern Michigan, northern and western Ohio, most of Indiana, much of Tennessee, much of Kentucky, eastern and south central Illinois, southeastern Missouri, far northeastern Arkansas, the far northwestern tip of the Florida Panhandle, much of Alabama, far northeastern Mississippi, southern Mississippi, central Louisiana, I would say, northern Texas, most of Oklahoma, central and western Kansas, northeastern New Mexico, central Colorado, far southwestern South Dakota, and southeastern Wyoming. We have another marginal that covers central Idaho, northwestern Wyoming, and southwestern Montana. And the tornado threat is less than 2% in all areas. So, and we have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher in the far southeastern corner of Indiana, south central and eastern Ohio, the eastern half of Kentucky, and I mentioned the far southeastern tip of Indiana, right? I think I did. This 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher also includes all of West Virginia, northern and western Virginia, Washington, D.C., most of Maryland, all of Delaware, almost the entire state of Pennsylvania, all of New Jersey, south central and southeastern New York State, which includes the western half of Long Island, and the far southwestern tip of Connecticut. So, and we also have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher in far southeastern Oklahoma. Well, I shouldn't say far. I should say southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Texas, northern Louisiana, pretty much almost the entire state of Arkansas, far south central Missouri, southwestern Tennessee, much of much of the northern half of Mississippi, and west central Alabama. And we also have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher in far southeastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, eastern Colorado, far western Kansas, much of the Oklahoma Panhandle, northwestern Texas, and far northeastern New Mexico. And we have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher that surrounds these three areas. We have a 15% chance of damaging wind gusts of 58 miles per hour higher. The 5% chance covers areas from Massachusetts over to New York State, going through southern Virginia, northwestern Ohio, down southwest through, down through Tennessee, down to the southern U.S., surrounding that 15% chance, going westward up through here. And we also have a 5% chance of damaging wind gusts up here of 58 miles per hour higher. That covers much of Idaho, parts of central Idaho, southwestern Montana, and far northwestern Wyoming. And we also have a hail threat. We have a 15% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger. That covers far southeastern Wyoming, western Nebraska, and northeastern Colorado. We have a 5% chance of hail of 1 inch in diameter or larger in southeastern Wyoming, southwestern South Dakota, western Nebraska, south central and western Kansas, eastern half of Colorado, northeastern New Mexico, pretty much all of Oklahoma, northern Texas, northern Louisiana, all of Arkansas, most of Mississippi, northern and far east central Louisiana, up through here, the far southeastern tip of Louisiana, I should say, most of Mississippi, the northwestern tip of the Florida Panhandle, much of Alabama, most of Tennessee, southeastern Missouri, south central and eastern Illinois, all of Kentucky, pretty much most of Indiana, Ohio, West Virginia. It includes extreme southeastern Michigan, most of Virginia, Washington, D.C., all of Maryland, all of Delaware, all of Pennsylvania, all of New Jersey, central and southern New York State, including Long Island, all of Connecticut, all of Rhode Island, all of Massachusetts, southern Vermont, and southern New Hampshire. Summary says clusters of thunderstorms accompanied by potentially damaging wind gusts are possible today into tonight from the Ohio Valley into northern mid-Atlantic, across parts of the Ozark Plateau in the lower Mississippi Valley, and to the lee of the Front Range and centigrade the Crystal Mountains. I will have another update on the Day 2 outlook soon. Anyway, stay safe in the affected areas today and tomorrow, and I will have another update soon on the Day 2.